back here for another radio show with Kobe and Sean. We got a lot in store for you today, but first we're going to start off talking about the loss of Terrence Clark. You know, R.I.P. to Terrence. Prayers up for him and his family. Sean, what do you got to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, all the support goes out to him and his family. Great player, you know, former 5-star recruit. It's super sad. He literally just signed to Clutch Sports yesterday. He was going to the NBA. He was going to get drafted, and it's so sad how everything played out. I saw a tweet. I have it up right now. Back in 2014, when Isaiah Austin, do you remember him from Baylor, the big man?
Yeah.
He was diagnosed with Marfan syndrome. They made him the ceremonial pick, and they said that the league should not have Terrence Clark in the summer. What? I agree 100% wholeheartedly.
As well.
Yeah, that's how it should be. That's how it should go. Just extremely sad overall, and prayers go out to him and his family for sure.
Yeah. But on a different note, we're going to talk about the NBA and how's that going right now.
I mean, for me, it's going very well. I mean, the Knicks are the hottest team in basketball. They've won 8 in a row. Julius Randle, he's not the MVP, but he is the MVP. And I won't say that he is the MVP, actually. I'll go a little bit further into it. I think that if he doesn't win Most Improved Player, that's almost worse than Damian Lillard getting slubbed in the 2018 All-Star game.
Oh, yeah.
Because he went from averaging 18 and 7 turnovers a game. That's an exaggeration, but 18 and however many turnovers a game to 25, 11, 7 assists, 2 turnovers a game. He is by far the most improved player in the league, and if he doesn't win it, MSG is going to be a riot.
I agree with you. I mean, Julius Randle has been playing lights out. The whole Knicks team has been playing 8 straight wins, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 8 straight wins, and that moved you guys up to the 4 seed. So you guys are moving along. And speaking of moving along, my Wizards are now in the playoff game.
Yeah. You guys are in there. You're in the playing tournament, 6 in a row. I always kind of expected the Wizards to get good, to get going at the end of the season, just because they have so much talent, and then they have good young talent too. Rui Hachimura and Denny Avdija, they're good players. They're really good players. And then on top of that, you have Bradley Beal, who's one of the best scorers in the league, Russell Westbrook, a former MVP. He can get a triple double any night he wants. But yeah, I think the Wizards can I could see the Wizards getting in at the 10 for the play-in tournament and then making the 7 seed. Somehow getting into the 7th seed. Or I don't know how it works, but I guess it would be the 8th seed technically because of record.
Yeah.
But they I could see them winning the play-in tournament.
I can as well.
Yeah. We also, so what else we have? We have to round it up. I mean, the Hawks. Trae Young went down the other day against the Knicks. A little scary. I think he should be back though. I don't know if they play tonight or not, but
I can see.
he should be back. It was a small ankle injury. Limped off the court a little bit, but big reason why the Knicks won.
Speaking of guys being back, I heard LaMelo Ball might be back in the next week or so.
I don't know if it's next week. I do think he'll be back if they make playoffs. So.
It was a week or two. He could possibly be back, and I think that's big for the Hornets. I mean, he is their star player, one of their top players. So if they get him back early enough for the playoffs, they could maybe even push for a higher seed. Maybe even get the 6th seed. Take over Boston or take that 7th seed from Miami.
Yeah, I mean this is kind of what I figured the Hornets were going to do. When LaMelo went down, they were playing very well. I think they were in they were a top 5 seed. Obviously they fell off a little bit because their point guard's not there. Their best player, their rookie of the year most likely if he didn't get injured. They wanted to win more games and get into above the play-in tournament because the play-in tournament is you don't want to be in the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
It feels it's not March Madness obviously, but it feels like that. Anything can happen. Any team can win, but they wanted to get into the 6th seed or above before the playoffs, have LaMelo come back for the playoffs, and then they could maybe make a little run. Obviously, they've fallen into the 8th seed. Got to do some catching up now. They're 4 games back. So yeah, I agree. I think they will bring LaMelo back if he's good to go. If he gets cleared by doctors, he'll be on the team. Who's your most shocking team in the Eastern Conference? I have mine. But I want to hear yours.
Most shocking team.
Whether it was disappointing or good.
I mean, disappointing. I'm going to go with Boston. I thought Boston was definitely a better team this year. They had a better chance to play well. But most shocking, I got to go with your Knicks. I wouldn't expect them to be the 4th seed right now. I wouldn't even expect them to be in the playoffs. To be honest with you, my most team who I think is like playing below average, below the level it should be, is definitely the Heat. I mean, they were just the NBA Finals runner-up, and now you're on the verge of playing in a playing game at the 7th seed. You still got the same guys back. You got Jimmy, Duncan, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, and then you added Victor Oladipo to the team, and yet you're still
Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson, everybody. Like they brought their entire team back. And that's my most like underperforming team of the year too.
And
I mean,
you're not playing how you should be. Like
yeah.
they were a team who everybody talked about. Oh, they're going to be back here. They're going to be at the finals again, and yet they're at the 7th seed, looking like they could be a first-round exit this year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Heat are definitely my most underperforming team this year. Like you said, they have everybody back, like insane. I don't even get it. My most overperforming, like the team that's done the most, like better than like what I would have expected from the beginning of the season is the Knicks. I think that's pretty much everybody's pick. But I will say, like, shockingly, the 76ers are holding on to the 1 seed. That's surprising to me because the Nets have so much firepower, and like they're not in the 1 seed. Like that's a little, like that's impressive to me as a fan looking onto it that the 76ers are the 1 seed.
Well, I think the Nets have been on and off with injuries lately. I mean, it's either KD's hurt and Harden and Kyrie are playing. At least one of the top 3 players they have, top 3 stars, is always hurt. So I think that's a big factor in their games. I mean, I think I think James Harden still isn't back yet. KD, I think, almost got re-hurt again.
I'm pretty sure KD's on limited minutes right now. That's what I think, if I remember correctly.
So it's just pretty much Kyrie out there, and then they just lost LaMarcus Aldridge to his retirement, so that's a big factor too. So I think they're having a bit of like problems within the team. But the 76ers, healthy, got almost MVP Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons, of course, Defensive Player of the Year. Should be Defensive Player of the Year. And then you got guys who can, all-star players who can help out as well. You got Seth Curry, Tobias Harris. You just have so many threats. And I think the 76ers could have a chance to make a big run.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's like everybody thinks the Nets are going to come out of the Eastern Conference, and me and you both do. We've talked about this before,
yeah.
But like the Sixers being on top that's what I'm saying is impressive to me right now. Like even without KD and Harden playing, the Nets are still a very good team. So the Sixers being on top with that firepower that the Nets have, and even the Bucks have. Like the Bucks have a really good team too. They have Drew Holiday, Giannis, Chris Middleton. Like they have everybody, and then they took away Eric Bledsoe and added Drew Holiday. So that's an upgrade right there.
Yeah.
But like I'm just saying the Sixers being on top. I do think one of the top 3 teams is going to make
the finals.
Yes. I don't think it's going to be. I think the Knicks or the Hawks, like they can make a little run. Like, I could see a 4 or 5 seed going to the Eastern Conference tournament or Eastern Conference final and losing, but I think it's going to be one of those top 3 teams making it to the finals.
I agree, and we'll come back after the short break to talk about the West. We are back here again, and we're going to start talking about the West.
Yeah, I mean, just a basic overview of the West. Like, not much has changed at the top. It's still the Suns, Jazz, Suns, Clippers. Got the Nuggets at the 4 seed. Still so sad what happened with Jamal Murray. Like I thought the Nuggets could have made a big run this year.
I feel like that's going to be a bit factor this year. I mean, he's a key player for that team, and to lose Jamal Murray, it's clearly that the Nuggets might not go as far as they could. They could have been at the finals. They could have beat the Lakers or maybe even the Jazz this year, and maybe be that team to go in the finals. Just like last year, they were so close, but lost to the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of the Lakers, we got them next. These are 2 best players. Andre Drummond comes in, he's an all-star now. Kyle Kuzma's an all-star now. Like, they're 11 games over 500 is crazy. If they can sit at that 5 seed or that 4 seed, and somehow, like obviously, I think LeBron and AD will be back for the playoffs. I think everybody is.
I think AD back. AD
is he back right now?
I think he was back yesterday.
Okay, yeah, he might have been.
He came back yesterday.
But yeah, when they get LeBron back, and they have that full team, they're the best team in the West. I mean, I think everybody knows it. Like, obviously, the Jazz have played very well. The Suns have played extremely well. The Clippers are the Clippers. They're going to lose. They're going to blow a 3-1 lead like they always do. Playoff Paul George is terrible. And it's sad because I love Kawhi Leonard, too. Like, Kawhi Leonard's one of my favorite players in the league. But the Lakers are the best team in the West when they have everybody healthy. And apparently when they don't have everybody healthy, they still win. So,
yeah. Even
though they're on a 2-game skid right now. Getting to the 6th seed, bottom half of the West, we have the Trailblazers. Dame Dalla, CJ McCollum. The thing with the Trailblazers is that they do this every single year.
Every year.
Every year. Like, they're always, like, right in, like, between, like, 5 to 7 5 to 7 is where they sit, and then they come in,
and
they shock somebody in the first round, like the Clippers a couple years ago when Dame hit that shot on Paul George, playoff Paul, and then they lose in the second round.
Yeah.
Like they never make it further than that, but they always win the first round, like something like that. But after that we have the Mavericks. Sad team this year, you know. I thought they were gonna be so much better than they are. Luka's still magical, you know. He's like a unicorn, but I mean, it's just
speaking of unicorns, Chris.
Yeah, you got Porzingis too, the unicorn. But like they could be so much better than they are, you know. Grizzlies at 8, 29, 28. Not bad. I mean, like that's a good spot for the Grizzlies to be in John Morant's rookie sophomore season. So, and Jaren Jackson's in his third year. Dylan Brooks is on that team. Like they have a good young core, and like they're probably gonna be good in a couple of years. Like they're gonna be like top of the West.
Spurs.
Yeah, the Spurs. I feel like they're old. I don't even know who's on the Spurs right now. DeMar DeRozan. That's the only person I know really on the Spurs. I'm not gonna lie.
I have not watched the Spurs this year, and I honestly I don't even know how they're doing or what. Honestly,
I don't think I've watched a single Spurs game this year. And I know they've played the Knicks too, but I don't think I watched that game. 10 seed Warriors, and after that we'll forget about it because the Warriors, Stephen Curry,
he's carrying the team.
Nuts. I mean, he'll drop 40 and go, and he like there was a stat that I saw like something crazy.
I think he dropped. It was like 40, 40, 39, 40, 40. I mean, he single-handedly beat the 76ers.
He made like there was something that said he made like 45 of his last 53s. Like it was a nuts stat that like as a basketball player, if I ever hit 45 out of 53s, I'll retire on the spot. Like literally, I will retire on the spot because I don't want to like that's just nuts to me. Like I'll be like, yeah, I'm the greatest shooter ever by.
Curry hit 10 threes to beat the 76ers and had 49 points. I mean, he's just been going off lately. Like he dropped, it was like 40, 40, 39. Like he keeps dropping 40-point games on these teams.
Yeah.
Like I think he's single-handedly carrying the Warriors to the playoffs right now.
I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. I don't think they're gonna be like the 6th seed, but they could easily make the play-in tournament, and Curry will win a play-in tournament game because he's Steph Curry. And then like Draymond, playoff Draymond's so different from regular season Draymond because he's so like passionate, he's into it.
And then maybe they get some help from James Wiseman there. And
yeah, James Wiseman could be like he could come back fully healthy. Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins, been playing decent. Like they're not the best shooters obviously, but they can definitely do something. But that's the scope for the 10 seeds in the West. Now we're gonna do the same thing we do with the Eastern Conference. So Kobe, give me your biggest surprise of the year and the most underperforming team of the year.
Biggest surprise of the year, definitely going to go with both the Jazz and the Suns. Was not expecting them to be the 1 and 2 seeds. I was thinking it's going to be the battle of LA. You get the Clippers and Lakers. But as you see, the Lakers have been hit hard with injuries, and then the Clippers are just underperforming very much so. So I'm going to go the Jazz and the Suns. And like we said earlier in a few other shows, Chris Paul is definitely the it factor there. I mean, wherever Chris Paul goes, a team plays super well. As you can see, last year with the Thunder, no one was expecting them to make the playoffs. Made the 6th seed, won the first round, and then this year he's with a young Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, a very young team. Was it Mikal Bridges?
Mikal Bridges, yeah, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker. I want to say they like a young forward too. But like that, yeah, I mean, I agree with the biggest surprise. I think it's the Jazz, not necessarily the Suns, because like. You see that Suns team on paper, and they're supposed to be really, really good, like with all that talent they have. They're young. You bring in the best veteran point guard in the league, best point guard of like this era probably, in Chris Paul, and now they're good. Like I mean, like I'm not gonna say I expected them to be this good, but like I'm not surprised that they're this good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Jazz, however, I am surprised that they're this good because like, if you remember, they were I think they were up 3-1 on the Nuggets. The Nuggets came back from a 3-1 deficit last year in the bubble. Donovan Mitchell missed that last-second shot. It was like it was heartbreaking for the Jazz. So I guess they could come back, and Quinn Snyder's a great coach. So I just didn't expect with the roster that they have to be the number 1 seed in the West and only have lost 15 games at this point of the season and won 44. That's kind of crazy to me. But we'll talk about the biggest underperformance of the season.
I think we can both agree on this. The Clippers.
I mean, I don't think the Clippers are underperforming though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're 42-19. I'm gonna go with the Mavericks. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Mavericks because
I mean, you would expect Luka, Kristaps, and those guys.
Yeah,
to
and
play
they
better.
have. The thing is, they have Luka and Kristaps as their like 2 main guys, which like already should put you into like the, like not in play-in tournament situation, but you should be higher than that.
You should be like at least a 5.
Yeah.
Maybe even a 4.
Yeah. But like on top of that, they have so many shooters around them. Like they have guys like Jalen Brunson, I think, is on the Mavericks. Tim Hardaway Jr. I'm thinking of one more, but I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue. It won't come out. But Dwight Powell, the big man that can shoot. Like, they have so many people around them. We have like a minute left with this segment, so I want to talk about one more team because it reminded me when you brought up Chris Paul effect. The Thunder. They stink. They've lost 12 in a row, and they've benched everybody on their lineup because they want to play the young guys. They even benched Shy, which makes no sense. Benched Al Horford. It's just crazy that the Thunder are this bad, and they're 0-10 their last 10, lost 12 in a row.
Speaking of 0-10, I mean the Rockets and Timberwolves are both eliminated from the playoffs at this point. Rockets just had the worst year I've ever seen in my life. After James Harden left, I think they lost 10, 15 in a row.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, you'd think they'd be better too with a John Wall type of player. So
and then they got rid of Victor. So
yeah, it's crazy that the Rockets are so bad, and they've been so good for our entire lives. So.
But that's all we have for this segment here. We'll be back shortly with the next one. We're back here again, and we're going to start this segment off talking about Major League Baseball. We're going to start here with the American League. I mean, the American League right now is up for grabs. Of course, I mean, you got teams playing well. You got Boston, Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Seattle, and Oakland both playing well over there in the AL West. So the American League is up for grabs. You got teams overperforming. I would say Boston. I mean, unexpected to see them playing this well right now, especially early in the season. So you never know. But also got teams underperforming. Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota's been a top team the past 2 years. You would expect them to play better. They got the same guys as last year: Nelson Cruz, Brian Buxton. You think they're playing well, and then speaking of teams playing bad, your Yankees, Sean. Your Yankees.
Terrible. I mean, they're terrible. I don't know what's happening. They're 7-11, and there was a point where they were. I followed an Instagram account. It's it gives you odds or whatever, and they were clear-cut favorite to win the AL this year. With Garrett Cole and coming back, and everything was gonna go our way finally, and then this starts. We lose Luke Voigt. Glue guy, and now we're 7-11 and we're on the bottom, and it just showed the two pictures of us being the favorite to win the American League and then us being in last place in the American League Conference, and it was terrible, very upsetting. But yeah, I agree with you. I think the Red Sox are overperforming. The Rays are very good, obviously Tampa Bay, and with the Yankees can't beat them for anything to save their lives. It's terrible. Glass now. They're so complete. The Rays are one of the best teams in the AL for sure, and I think they could easily win it this year.
I mean, they're reigning champs last year. I mean, I think they can definitely make a run for it and go back again. And then the Yankees again. Jay Bruce retires. I mean, that came out of nowhere. I was not expecting that.
Out of nowhere. I was so confused. I was like, we literally just signed you. Why are we traded for you? Whatever happened, but and then you just retire out of nowhere, and now we need Luke Voigt back badly. We need Luke Voigt back. Down to the Central, Kansas City Royals, White Sox. The White Sox are really I like the White Sox a lot. I like watching them play because they're just so complete. 1-9 is there's a chance for like a bomb to go 1 through 9. It's awesome. So
they got great hitters. You got Jose Abreu, Edwin Encarnacion. I mean, Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson's just the swagger guy. I mean, he has so much swagger to him, and he clearly brings that to the table there.
Yeah. In the Central, and then the Indians, Tigers, Twins. I don't know much about them. You said the Twins have been good the last 2 years. Falling off this year, so they're definitely underperforming, I guess.
Oh, clearly underperforming. I mean, Twins have been a playoff team the past few years, and to see them literally bottom of the American League at 6-11 is just shocking to me. They're just underperforming. Playing down to a level that is very unexpected. I mean, they were in the power rankings. They were top 10, and now they're not even close to that. So it's shocking to see them play like this.
Definitely, and then into the AL West, Mariners, Athletics. The Athletics, they started off really bad, and they've won 10 in a row right now. They're 10-0 in their last 10. So they're definitely a team that's hot in the AL. I think they could win the West and then make a run at the Rays for the American League title.
I agree with you there. And then speaking of the West, I mean, a team that everybody's happy that's playing terribly is the Astros. I mean, these cheaters are getting what they deserve. They're not playing well. I mean, clearly, I think they need the trash can back because nothing else is working for them. But team underperforming in the AL West, I think the Angels could be definitely playing better. I mean, I think they have a great team. You have the best player in baseball, Mike Trout. Shohei Ohtani, the man can roll it.
Showtime.
Ohtani. I mean, he can literally dice it up on the mound and then hit a bomb if he needs to. Andrelton Simmons, you got guys like that. I mean, I don't know what the Angels are doing right now. They lost 2 straight. So hopefully they find their groove in the middle of the season and find anything and get it going. But speaking back on the Athletics here, I mean, they started out the season 2-7, and they've won 10 straight games. So they're clearly on a hot streak. I mean, Matt Olson over there. Forget who else they got, but they're clearly playing. I'd say they're overperforming.
Yeah, I can see that for sure, and that's the thing that's why I'm not that worried about the Yankees yet, is because if we think about it, we're 5 games back, 4.5 games back of the A's right now, right? And if the A's are on top, A's are on top. We're 4.5 games back of them and the Mariners, and it's just so early in the season to know what's going to happen at the end of the season. So I think the Yankees can still get hot. I think the A's can get cold. It's anything can happen really.
I mean, yeah, it's early in the season. We're only 20 games in, and teams are just playing at their best right now. So usually the Yankees, I think they would pop out and perform exponentially during the middle of the season, because usually in the middle of the season the Yankees are at their best. That's when they show up mid-late season, and then mid-late season for my guys, the Orioles, that's when we start to decel and we start winning maybe 1 out of every 8 games. So we'll see how that goes there. Hopefully we can stay, I'd say, a bit of a groove right now. We're 8-10, third in the AL East, behind Tampa and Boston, but in front of Toronto and your Yankees. So that's going well for us.
Yeah, definitely. We just talked about the American League. Let's move on to the National League for a little bit, start it, and then we can finish it up next segment. Just starters, underperforming team, got to be the Mets. It's they have the best pitcher in baseball almost. I'd say DeGrom is the best pitcher in baseball, or top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
And all they can do is leave bases loaded with no outs, and then they get 3 outs in a row. They can't hit. They poured so much money into this organization, and now they're just that bad, and it's kind of sad to see. And then obviously, best team in the NL, probably the best team in baseball, the Dodgers. They are nuts.
The Dodgers are literally a complete team. I think they have everybody back as last year. And then speaking of the Dodgers, I mean, the series between the Dodgers and the Padres was amazing. I mean,
they're so exciting because the Dodgers are the Dodgers are like Goliath, and the Padres are just so exciting to watch, and they just crank home runs. They have Machado, they have Tatis,
Eric Hosmer.
Yeah, Eric Hosmer. That's what I was thinking of. And they just crank home runs. It's nuts. And then the Dodgers are just the best team in baseball, and they're obviously going to put up a fight with that. They have a 2-headed monster at pitcher and Kershaw and Bauer. So it's crazy how good the Dodgers are, and they should definitely come out of the NL.
Oh, I agree. Going back on the Dodgers and Padres game, I saw this thing. It was the way that they played. It was a 3-game series. The Dodgers took 2 of the 3, but the way the first game ended, it was second and third. Mookie Betts makes a diving catch in the game. Second game, I think Max Muncy hits a game winner in the 8th inning to give them the lead. But then the Padres, game 3, would make a comeback and then beat the Dodgers. So that's going to be interesting for the next couple games. So I can't wait to watch the Dodgers and Padres play a lot this year. But that's all we have for this segment. We'll be back shortly with the next one. We are back here again, and we're going to talk about the National League again. Get more a bit in depth. We started talking about the Padres and the Dodgers and how that series was great, how those 2 teams are playing pretty well. But we're going to talk about the teams that are playing pretty bad right now. I mean, you got the Rockies and the Nationals. I mean, the Nationals, they got three of the 3 top 10 pitchers in the National League right now. You got Patrick Corbin, Max Scherzer, and Steven Strasburg. Yeah, you're 7-9. You got Josh Bell, Josh Harrison, Juan Soto, Trey Turner, Victor Robles. You got pretty much you got speedster and Trey Turner, Victor Robles, and you got power hitters in Soto, Bell, and Harrison. Yet you're 7-9. I mean, they're clearly underperforming, not playing to how they should be. I mean, they were just the World Series champions 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's happening over there. And then you got the Rockies. Charlie Blackmon, Trevor Story. I don't know what's happening there.
Definitely underperforming as well. Both these teams, like like you said, the Nationals are like the Rockies aren't as amazing like on paper as the Nationals, obviously, and the Nationals underperforming is just a shocker to me because, like you said, they have so many players. They have Kyle Schwarber, Juan Soto, and then they have Scherzer, Steven Strasburg. Like they have a lot of good players, and they're just not cutting it. But I think they could be in a similar boat to the Yankees. You know, like it's early in the season. They could easily start performing at the end of the season, and it could happen like that, like easily. Another team that's not underperforming or overperforming, but performing pretty much just right is the Philadelphia Phillies. You know, maybe a little bit underperforming because they have some good players, but sitting at 9-9. What do you think about them?
I mean, I feel like the Phillies definitely should be above 500 right now. They lost 2 games to the Giants. I think the one game they had like 10 hits and 0 runs. It was 2-0 game the other day. And then the other game, they lost like 3-1. And then I watched their last series game against the Giants, and they almost blew that. They were 4-1 in the 7th inning. Gave up a 3-run bomb, and then later in that inning, you get McCutchen makes an error in left field. They score. The Giants score again. It's 5-4. But then they bounce back. You get Bryce Harper to hit a solo shot to deep right center field. So that helped out as well. You know, Bryce Harper has been playing well. I love watching Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper is literally fun to watch. He makes baseball fun. And then 9th inning, I mean, the Phillies pitching staff played well. You got Spencer Howard, so he pitched well to close out the 8th. And then you got, I forget the next guy's name, he closed out the 9th inning, but then you get, I think it's 1st and 2nd, get a walk-off base hit to win the game. So clearly the Phillies got guys who can play well and get the job done. I'd just love to see them do it more. And then another team playing not too bad, but not what we would expect is the Mets.
Crazy. I mean, I know more about New York baseball than everything else, obviously, but like the Mets, obviously, sorry. The Mets have Jacob deGrom, Taijuan Walker, another really good pitcher, and then they spend all this money on like Michael Conforto, they have Francisco Lindor, they bring back Pete Alonso, they still have Syndergaard on the team. So like, I'm just confused on how they are so like not as good as they should be, and maybe you can enlighten me on that and how like who's not playing well. But like, from what I know is that Jacob deGrom's on the mound, he'll pitch a perfect 7 innings and not let up a run, and then the bullpen comes in, they leave people on base. That's all they do, and then they just can't win. So, what are your thoughts about the Mets?
I mean, I agree with you. They should definitely be playing well. You got Dominique Smith, Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, Michael Conforto, Jeff McNeil. You got guys who can hit. Jacob deGrom, Marcus Stroman. You got pitchers. So I don't know what's going on with that team. I mean, their center fielder is literally Brandon Nimmo is literally batting a 386 average. You pretty much half the team is over 200. You got Pete Alonso, he's batting 231 right now. Francisco Lindor 204. Dominique Smith 250. I mean, Michael Conforto might be the factor. I mean, he's only batting 178. Jeff McNeil's batting 163. So not too many guys are batting that bad. So I don't really understand what the Mets are doing either.
It's just crazy. Like, they can't hit when there's runners in scoring position, which is like, you're not going to win a baseball if you leave people on bases. Like, if you leave someone in scoring position, like on second base, with no out, like let's say there's somebody on second base, no outs. DeGrom just pitched a beautiful inning, 3 backwards Ks. Let's put it that way. And then they strike out 3 times in a row. It's nuts. I mean, I just don't understand the Mets at all. It's like they've always done like this. They could have so much hype in the beginning of the year and be so ready, never get out of their own shadow.
I agree with you.
Or the Yankee shadow.
Another team I think I thought would play better is probably the Cubs. I mean, the Cubs, ever since they lost the World Series, the Cubs have just been kind of struggling. They've been decelling instead of excelling. I mean, they got great guys. You got Javi Baez, Chris Bryant,
Jock Peterson.
Yeah, you just got Jock Peterson from the Dodgers, so you definitely got guys there. I just don't understand what's going on. But speaking of the Cubs right now, they're actually beating Milwaukee 2-0 in the bottom of the first. Hopefully they can get that dub there.
Yeah, hopefully they get it done.
Well, Milwaukee's a pretty good team. I mean, Yelich.
Yeah, I mean, Yelich he's probably going to shot he wins MVP again probably, but like then you got on top of that you have Lindor with the Braves, face of baseball. Or not Lindor, Acuna, that's what I mean. Acuna, he's the face of baseball. It's nuts.
Ron Acuna I agree. He's amazing. He's a great
He's
player.
the face of
Him and
baseball.
Ozzie Albies in Atlanta. I mean, what is Atlanta? I mean, Atlanta's not playing great either. They're 8-10, but maybe they step it up by the end of the year, mid-season, like we said with the Yankees. These are like teams where you see like they start off the year not playing too well, but hopefully by the mid-season, late season, they get it going.
Yeah. Push
that playoff run and play pretty well. I mean, last season they lost to St. Louis, and I think it was last season they lost to St. Louis. No. They lost to the Dodgers last year. 2 years ago they lost to St. Louis, where I thought they were going to be that team that makes the World Series run. But they didn't show up. But last year they faced the world champion Dodgers and lost in, I think, 5 or 6 games there. So definitely playing not well at the moment, but I could definitely see them picking things up mid-late season.
So we have a little bit of time left, so let's talk about your what are your picks for the World Series right now with the season going on? I know we did it before the season, but like right now, what is it?
Right now, I would have to say the Dodgers clearly are the front runners for the National League. In the American League, I definitely could think that's up for grabs. I mean, I don't know who could come out the American League. At first, I was thinking the Yankees, but the past few seasons, the Yankees haven't made it out that ALCS game. So I'm gonna stick with the Yankees, but I could definitely go with the A's going at it, or maybe Tampa goes back and tries to get revenge on the Dodgers. How about you?
Well, I think we're on the same boat. You got to go Dodgers. There's no other way around it. And then I think the Yankees will step it up. But like looking at what has happened so far this season, I'm gonna go with the Rays again because like they're still a very good team. Like they have a good team top to bottom, and they can easily come in and they're gonna be hungry to get revenge on the Dodgers. So.
Okay, that's all we have for this segment. We'll be back shortly for the next one. Back again. We're gonna start this one off talking about the New Jersey rule that the NFL has had. Sean, how do you feel about this?
Personally, I like it. I know a lot of players and owners don't love it, but like, or even coaches don't like it. But like, obviously, like guys that are big to the game, Belichick thinks it's stupid. Brady called it dumb. But I personally like it just because like I'm a college football fan too. So like, just imagine seeing Chase Young coming at you. He's got number 2 on instead of 99. Like that's so scary. He's like wearing the crop top. Like that'd be sick. Like kind of similar to like Ezekiel Elliott when he was in college. I mean, I love it, and I think like seeing like a Justin Jefferson like back in his LSU days, he wore number 2, and then Jamar Chase wore number 1. Let's see if he goes to the Bengals, he wears number 1. Like that'd be pretty cool to see because they can't do that right now, and I do think that like players should be able to pick like where they want to be. Yeah. So like obviously I'm not going to see like Mekhi Becton or Quentin Nelson like wearing number 2, but like they should be able to wear like if they want to wear like number 50 as a no tackle, they should be able to. Like that's kind of how I feel about it, and I don't know how I know you said you don't know about it really right now, but like
yeah, I don't know how.
I'm here to convince you that it's a good thing.
See, I'm like on what Tom Brady said. I kind of agree with. I mean, you see a lineman wearing a single digit number, it's going to be confusing to like know which guys are who and all this, that, and the other. I mean, because they're wearing single digit numbers, so it's going to be a bit confusing as a quarterback to like realize this and stuff like that. I mean, the number rule is receivers can wear 1 through 49 and 80 through 89. Defensive backs can choose 1 through 49. Linebackers 1 through 59 and 90 through 99. Offensive linemen are 50 through 79. Defensive line is 50 through 79. So right there, Chase Young can't even wear number 2. So that's kind of.
Well, yeah, that kills that point. But like still, but like my Justin Jefferson point's still there. Or like
yeah,
a cornerback like Patrick Surtain, like that's one person coming out of the draft this year, and he wears number 2 right now. That would look pretty cool on the outside. Like you gotta admit that. It would look pretty cool if he was rocking number 2 on the outside for the Cowboys.
Yeah, but it's been like I'm just so used to like defensive backs being like being in the 20s. I like Marlon Humphrey changing from 29 to 44. At first I was like, yeah, it's kind of weird, but you get used to it. But I guess I could get used to it if this thing does happen. Hopefully it does it because like I like my guys and their jersey numbers, especially the people who are buying their jerseys. I mean, people just bought. I mean, especially as a Ravens fan. I mean, I know a bunch of people who bought the 29 Marlon Humphrey jersey, and then Earl Thomas comes around. The Marlon changes to 44, so you got to go get 44 now. And this man Marlon's talking about changing the number 1 and stuff. So
don't even get me started on jersey purchases, man. Like the Jets getting a Jets jersey is a graveyard. Like you're digging yourself your own grave. It's like I'll tell you the last 3 jerseys I've gotten: Jamal Adams, Sam Darnold, and Le'Veon Bell. And all 3 of those players were supposed to be huge parts of our future. They leave. Like. You get those 3 jerseys, and then they're all gone. And then, like, I'm just happy I still have, like, an old school, like, Darrelle Revis jersey, because you can wear that for the rest of, like, time if you really want to.
Yes.
But the one nice thing about having the Jamal Adams jersey still is, like, played the Seahawks this year. I wrote Snake on the back over the Adams, so it was nice. Like, I could root against him still.
See, the last 3 jerseys I've got are an '89 Steve Smith Senior jersey.
Fair. You can wear that forever.
Lamar Jackson jersey. That's definitely gonna be one forever. And then a Justin Tucker jersey. Most people.
So you're fine. You're fine. Exactly. Yeah. Like the Jets are different. Like it's a graveyard.
Most people don't understand the Tucker jersey one. They're like, why did you get a kicker? I mean, when you got the best kicker in the league, I mean, every time we're sitting there at home, we're like, oh, and Tucker, we trust this dude's gonna make this. But I mean, speaking of Tucker, last year, I mean,
didn't have a great year.
Scares me a bit.
He scared me a bit. He's still probably the best kicker in the league. I'll give him probably the best.
There's sometimes you're like, oh my god, this is easy light work, and then other times you're like, what in the world just happened?
Yeah, here's the thing with Tucker is that he'll always be like a good kicker, and then there's people that are going to be better kickers than him every single year. Like Greg the Leg 2 years ago when the Rams went to the Super Bowl, like he was on fire, he was insane, and then he like fell off. But like Justin Tucker, he's consistently good. He's never really the best, but he's consistently good.
He's like they say, he's the most accurate kicker. I mean,
yeah.
From 45, 50 yards, I mean, most kickers struggle with that. Tucker makes it look easy most of the times. I mean, last year the Browns game winner, 45 yards, made it look super easy. Kicked it right down the middle, made it look super easy. I mean, but the Cowboys game, kicked it wide left. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Ever since Joe Buck jinxed him the first time against the Saints, I think that was 3 years ago. It was Lamar's first season. Joe Flacco was playing for us. Said something about Tucker never misses the extra point. We lose that game. Ever since then, I feel like Tucker has been like on and off since then. Missed field goal against the Cowboys. Missed extra point 2 years ago against the Jets. And then the Bills game was just a huge struggle. Missed, I think, 3 field goals.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I think Justin Tucker is the most consistent, best kicker in the league, but he's not the best kicker in the league every single year. But back we just got off track a little bit. Yeah. Back to the jerseys. The thing, I saw something on Twitter today, and I don't believe everything I see on Twitter. Obviously, I'm a tweeter, like I'm a big Twitter guy, but if you change your number, you have to buy whatever stock is left of your jersey, like on NFL Shop.
I saw that.
Which is like, that's messed up, man. Like that's messed up. Like I'm thinking about it. Like it would be cool. Like now, like let's use Marlon Humphrey for example, because he changed his number. He went from 29 to 44, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you have a 29 Marlon Humphrey jersey, and then he changes to 44. It would be kind of cool to like go back and buy a vintage 29 Marlon Humphrey jersey, right?
I guess.
Like you know what I mean? So like if like it's like CeeDee Lamb's 88 right now. If this changes, it'll probably go back to 2, like he was in college. It would be cool. Like you could be like, oh, I have like a rookie CeeDee Lamb number 88 jersey. I think that personally would be kind of cool, just like as like a geek in sports. But I don't think that they should make players buy out their stock because there's fans that are going to want those jerseys.
Yeah, I agree, but I feel like most people like, not most, like some people would like disagree. Wouldn't want to like buy another jersey for these guys. I mean, once you get one jersey, you're like, all right, I got this jersey. Then they switch up on you. You're like, man, I gotta go get a new one now. I want the jersey like he has. So it's like some fans might think it's frustrating that people keep changing jersey numbers, but I can see where you're coming from though. Like having to buy your own jersey stock, like that could be like millions of dollars still.
It's
out
like
there.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
That's like if like.
Obviously, it depends on the player, and like most quarterbacks won't switch their number because they already have what they want. Like
That's
they're
like
pretty much
if Lamar or C.D. Lamb changed their jersey number right now. I mean, they would definitely have to pay like thousands, maybe even $1 million for their old jersey.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. I just think that there could be like we won't even think about like the common fan. Let's think about like the collecting fan, like the collector fan. Like they sell stuff on like Amazon or eBay or whatever.
Yeah.
You get a rookie C.D. Lamb jersey, I'd argue that's more valuable than a rookie C.D. Lamb football card, like a Panini card. So I mean, like that, like it could be beneficial to those people too. Like I don't think the players should have to buy out like $1 million worth of jerseys. So just a little bit different, but that's all the time we have for this segment. So we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about UFC 261 tomorrow. Big things ahead.
Yeah. We're back again. We're gonna talk about UFC for the last segment here. Sean, you got this one.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously UFC 261 this weekend, but before we talk about that, let's talk about last weekend, the day after we did our show. The UFC lost a soldier, man. I mean, Ben Askren got dropped by Jake Paul in 1 minute.
I don't know why he did that.
Like, I hate talking about this because we're a sports show, not a, like, pop culture show, and I think Jake Paul falls into pop culture. I do not think he's a professional boxer yet.
No,
but, like, he needs, if he fights, like, Tommy Fury and beats him, got my respect. 100% have my respect. If he fights, like, his Gardner, like he has been, like, no respect for him. I mean, it's just so sad what's happening. And, like, obviously, it's great. I'm a boxing fan. It's great. You bring eyes to the sport. Like, it's fell off so much since, like, the Fury day, or, not the Fury days, the Tyson days and the Mayweather and Pacquiao. Like, it was so big then, and now it's not. But, like, obviously, Jake Paul brings eyes to the sport of boxing, which is great for the sport, but, like, he's simultaneously ruining it, and I hate it.
I agree. I mean, Ben Askren wasn't even like I know this. Ben Askren wasn't even a like striker type guy. He was a grappler, on the ground type fighter, and he's going out to try to box. I mean, why would you even try that? It's like Conor McGregor doing the same thing with Floyd Mayweather. 2 years ago? Conor McGregor's not a boxer type guy. He's like a kick type fighter.
Yeah, he's a striker. He strikes people. Like he's good in stand up. Conor McGregor's very good in stand up, but like. He's not as technical as Floyd Mayweather, the best boxer of all time.
And speaking of Floyd Mayweather, he's supposed to fight Logan Paul June 5th.
It's crazy. I just don't get it. Like, why is he doing that to himself?
I don't either. I mean, you're already 50-0. Just leave it.
That's such a good number too. Like 50-0 is so much better than 51-0.
Yeah, I mean, why would you want to ruin that? And if you lose this, I mean, you're not going to hear the end
Your
of it.
Your legacy's done. I mean, not done, but like it's there. I mean, the way I think about it is like, I think I saw the stats this morning and. Mayweather can't weigh over 160, but like Logan Paul can't weigh more than 190. Like there's a 30 freaking pound weight deficit, like that, like difference in between the two, and he has 400s on him, so much more reach. I think Floyd's gonna destroy Logan Paul's like core. Like he's gonna get so many body shots, and he's gonna duck and like weave, and he's gonna win, I think. But why risk your legacy to fight a YouTuber? It just doesn't make any sense. But all for the pop culture boxing, let's get to the real fights this weekend. UFC 261, Usman Masvidal 2, huge card, 3 title fights. Starting off with the welterweight championship of the world, Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. I think that Kamaru Usman wins easily. The last fight, Masvidal obviously took it on short notice. Usman kind of destroyed him. You know, he was just like stomping his feet. It was a boring fight, but he ended up winning. And since then, I think that Kamaru's gotten a lot better. I haven't seen Masvidal fight since then. So, speaking of Masvidal, also got to start with kneeing Ben Askren in 2 seconds. So, that was pretty cool. What are your thoughts on this one, this first fight?
I think I'm going to go Usman. He looks like the better fighter here. I mean, like you said you haven't seen Masvidal fight in a while. So, if you haven't fought in a while, it's gonna take some time to try to get back at what you're doing. And if Usman's like ready, prepared, he has the right guys, I think he's going to win this one.
Yeah, I think, and then the other thing with the welterweight division is that like Kamaru Usman's literally the top person in this division. Like he just fought the number 1 contender. He beat Gilbert Burns handily, and the number 2 contender, now the number 1 contender, is Colby Covington. Colby Covington has not fought in so long, and he's begging for a title fight. But like Kamaru Usman had a good point. He was like, the most active person in the division should not be the champion. Like he should be taking the fights he wants. You guys should be taking the fights that you don't want to take. Which makes so much sense, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. But at the end of the day, I think Kamaru wins this fight and probably beats Colby if they fight again. On to the second fight, we have Weili Zhang and Rose Namajunas for the women's strawweight title. And, I mean, Rose is a great fighter. They call her Ghetto Rose. And she can fight, but, like, I saw a video of Weili Zhang training the other day. If she kicked me, she's 115 pounds. If she kicked me, I would move. Like, I would probably go through this glass. That's how much power she has. It's insane. But I'm going to go with Weili Zhang, just, like, on my gut. So, I don't know, like, you probably don't know much about the strawweight division, obviously, but, like, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to go Weili Zhang. I mean, this girl can kick you. You're bigger than me. I mean, she
I
kicks you through a wall. I'm going to fly.
I am a 220-pound man, and Weili Zhang is 150 pounds, and she could, maybe not through a wall, but, like, she could kick me, and I'd move. Like, I wouldn't just be staying put. Like, I would move.
See, if you would move, I'm 180 pounds. I might fly. I might fly.
It's crazy how, like, powerful she looks. Like, look up on ESPN MMA on Instagram after this. I'll show you, but it's nuts. After that, we have the women's flyweight title bout. Valentina Shevchenko, Jessica Andrade, the people that Jake Paul want to fight.
See, I keep hearing about Jessica Andrade, so I'm gonna go Jessica Andrade. And people keep saying this girl can beat Jake Paul. So I think if she can beat a man, she can just destroy this woman.
Okay, so let me take you a step back. So, you know Amanda Nunes, right? The greatest women's fighter of all time.
Yeah.
The only person that can remotely last 5 rounds with her is Valentina Shevchenko in the entire UFC. She's lost to her twice, but I'm pretty sure both went to decision, and she lost unanimously. But, like, she's the second best fighter in the UFC, women's everything, all the divisions. So I'm going to take the bullet. I'm going to go with Valentina.
I'm still going to.
If you want to take Andrade because people want her to beat Jake Paul,
I'm still going to take Andrade. I feel like she gets the upset here.
I respect it, but, like, I don't know.
Looking at her face right now, this is
no,
scary.
she's a scary looking girl. I mean, she is, and she would probably beat me up too. Like, most people in women's UFC would beat me up. But let's go to the middleweight bout really quick. Uriah Hall and Chris Weidman. Uriah Hall coming off a win off one of the best fighters of all time in Anderson Silva. Chris Weidman, I believe he fought recently. I don't remember who it was, but I mean, you beat. Like, it's pretty much a pick 'em. I think Uriah Hall is plus 100. Chris Weidman's at minus 125. So I'm gonna go with Uriah Hall, just because, like, I've seen him fight and he beat Anderson Silva, which is, like,
big.
That's a feat in itself.
I'm gonna agree with you there. I mean, being Anderson Silva. I mean, I think I've seen Anderson Silva fight a couple times, so I'm definitely gonna take Uriah Hall on that one.
Yeah, and then after that we have essentially a contender match. Anthony Smith, number 6. What division is this? Number 6. Lightweight in the world. He's a veteran. He's 34-16, fought 50 times. Jim Crew's a young guy, 12-1, looking to prove himself. I'm gonna go with Crew here, just off my gut, because I feel like in the UFC specifically, like, whenever somebody's young and they're looking to prove something, they fight so much harder than somebody, especially like somebody like Anthony Smith, who's been around for so long, and he's 34-16 in mixed martial arts. I'm gonna go with Crew here.
I'm gonna go Anthony Smith. I feel like the veteran gets the job done. I mean, I know the young guy might have a bit more in him, but I feel like the veteran stands his ground and gets the job done there.
Yeah, I mean, I can respect that for sure, but I'm gonna stick on my original and go Jim Crew. So to wrap it up, yeah, we have Kamaru, Weili Zhang, Valentina Shevchenko, Uriah Hall, and Jim Crew. Those are my 5 right there.
You got Usman, Wally, Jessica, Uriah Hall, and Anthony Smith.
All right, and you guys can listen live at CougarRadio.net. Follow us on Instagram and give us a like on Facebook at Cougar Radio. Subscribe on YouTube and Spotify to watch and listen to all our podcasts. Thank you guys for listening. That should be the end of it.
Yep, and we'll be back here for our last show next week.